All right, welcome back to another analysis of what happened to mortgage-backed securities and interest rates last week. So this is basically looking at from September 1st through September 8th, a week-long period going into the weekend. The Labor Day weekend, we had basically the market getting rejected by this 50-day moving average. So we're really into kind of a technical analysis range. This is a trading range through here. And then when we came back, there was talk from different Fed speakers throughout the week and looking at jobless claims and things like that that actually drove the market down. So remember, when the mortgage-backed securities go down, interest rates get higher. So this is not good news, but there's a lot of technical analysis going on in here to include trading ranges and trend lines and a bunch of other data that's coming out through the fundamentals. So as this came down here on September 6th, we had more talk with jobless claims, and there's always seems to be some revisions. Constantly, this data is skewed. So as they began to digest the market, we actually saw an improvement here on Thursday. And then it seems to be fighting now this 25-day moving average. So you can see how without massive news or things that throw off the economic data, it falls into more of a technical analysis thing and reacts to these different points of resistance and support. So at this point, the 25-day moving average seems to be a ceiling that it can't get at. We saw that yesterday, which is Friday, as it tried to break above but was rejected. So not sure what's going to be happening next week. What we'll begin to do is see a picture develop. So honestly, this can go a couple different ways. Either this acts as a ceiling and it rejects it, and then you have these Fibonacci numbers out here, these levels of support that will be tested again. And if not, depending on what happens in the economy and the world and basically what people are feeling for the market, if this breaks above, then this Fibonacci at 76.4 becomes the next point of resistance. And then you can see that the 50-day moving average and this are beginning to converge. If at some point it breaks above that, you've got a lot of room to the upside. So these are the technical things that we look at to what's happening with rates. But every day, depending on who says what's happening, what goes in the economy, and just remember that a lot of this data also gets revised. So what's happening consistently is the job data is being revised to the point where we keep on taking away jobs that were supposedly added. And part of that is because of how they're doing their data collection. A lot of variance that's in there. So at some point, they become less trustworthy. And that's why we get some of this market volatility as they're really trying to digest what's going to happen and predict what's going to go on with interest rates. Meanwhile, the Fed talks about different aspects of what they're planning to do, and then the market's trying to react and anticipate because ultimately this is all investing. So the other thing that's impacting the market, and we're starting to see it, is that a lot of employers aren't necessarily hiring. There are job openings, but they're not letting the good employees go. So a lot of the jobs that are added these days, like this week, it was 32,000 that were part-time jobs. So part-time jobs, although it seems as if it adds jobs, folks, that's not really a strong economy. So there's a lot of people looking at this going, hey, even though everybody's cheering, saying, hey, we may not get a recession is still very much on the table. Okay, and based off of what we're starting to see in some of the revisions, wouldn't be surprised if it actually happens. But the problem is all of these are lagging indicators. So that's why it's difficult to predict, because it's what is happening is when you look in hindsight, you can see kind of how things developed. And as things report and as things impact the economy, they're not always immediate. What happened several months ago may not show up in the economy until several months later. I hope this helps. This just gives us a picture of where we're at, give you a 6-month overview so you can kind of see where we've been and how we've been on a downward trend. This could be testing that downward trend, or it could be trying to break above that trend, in which case that would be good for mortgage-backed securities, which would lower interest rates. All right, until next week, hope this helps, gives you a little bit of a bigger picture. Have a good day.